Bill Maher scorches leftists in epic rant, says liberals have gone insane and are in denial by Tim Cast IRL Tim Pool.
I want to play this clip from Bill Maher's show, which, boy, Bill, I just want to say this before we play it. Welcome.
By the way, this one is probably going to be a much shorter video, not just because it's a shorter video I'm reacting to, however, but the next one, tomorrow morning's, is going to be a long one. And if you stick around till the end of this one, I will give a little spoiler to what we're reacting to tomorrow morning, because that's going to be a good one. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, throw a comment while you're down there when you come up with something to say, and have a good day. We'll get right into it.
To the Republican Party.
The basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not.
And they're right.
Wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does.
It 100% does. Even if you just went via the size of individuals, there would be very, very tiny percent of women who could actually make the team of men's. But they probably would not, just due to the simple fact of the size and physical fit of all the other guys. So yes, 100% sports need to be separated by sexes. It just doesn't make any sense to put them together in the same one, especially for something like a contact sport of like boxing. You could really hurt or even kill somebody if you're at the wrong size, weight classes, etc. And even if you're on the same weight class, just the physical strength of the majority of guys is a lot higher. So yeah, keeping them separated is for the best.
Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does.
Look at it.
And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not.
To the left, gender is a spectrum. To the right, it's fact. Science. Fact.
Doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion. Not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America. Not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks.
Yep, I'm someone who doesn't care. I got similar things here where I agree with Bill on, and some of those things are like weed, majorly, some of the trans stuff. Like, I don't care if you are above 18 and you choose to switch and want to go as the other gender, but don't be offended or act like it's someone else's fault if they misgender you. Just politely say, hey, that was incorrect. I am this. If you could try to not do that in the future, that'd be great. Like, it's that simple. You don't need to make a big deal out of it ever. It's real simple.
If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5, isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add.
Very true. And most liberals, they're like, oh, all the Trump supporters and conservatives are majorly people who didn't go to college. They're all uneducated. I went to school where you got indoctrinated and they played with your brain. Got it. Like, one party here is the problem. It's the ones that are going in and getting a liberal arts degree, having to take a gender ideology class, going to get a degree in Chicano studies because you want to learn about your own culture and you don't know how to use Google.
You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight? If the men...
If you're healthy at any weight, why do people that are 300 to 400, 500 pounds, why do they live a lot less than people who are in the quote-unquote shape of what their body proportions say? Like me, I do carry a little extra, but that's because I am having a tougher time getting it off with a broken leg. I gotta find with a broken healing leg until that's fully up. I gotta find other ways to move more to be able to clear my weight out a little. Until then, it's just kind of like calorie cut back. Well, and it's kind of working. We're trickling down. Not quick enough for me, but yeah, that's just my own personal.
Football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit.
Oh, poor Bill.
I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter. Smug self-righteousness in the defense of some of the dumbest ideas to ever come down the pike is not a formula that's really working for you. Because here's one thing I can promise every liberal in this country. The Democrats can win every election from now until forever. And the people who now hold the reins of power will not give a shit and will not give it back if they think you're still nutty.
I don't think the Democrats could win every election from here on out without some kind of miracle candidate or the Republicans picking a literal Satan. Like, there's no way at this point. Like, the Trump derangement syndrome on the left has set them on a path that I do not think they can recover from. I grew up hearing from my peers, oh, we need someone who's not a politician. All politicians are corrupt. We need a good president. We got that right there with Trump. He's not what I would say a traditional politician. And for that matter, neither is J.D. Vance. Yeah, he did become a lawyer and then he became a senator after doing a few other things along there, but he also was in the Marine Corps. He wrote a book. His childhood he grew up with isn't your typical politician's childhood. He grew up pretty rough. So yeah, I can completely see why there are a handful of people who are so inclined to liking Trump. I, for one, didn't like him in 16, and I still didn't really like him in 20 because of the cabinet that was surrounding him was very, I would say, poisonous to our nation overall. There was a lot of bad eggs in that first administration, which is why this Trump 2.0 47 administration is so much better, and why so many people are, throwing around the Trump 2028, hell yeah, and joking about it and throwing it around. It's because for some, if he did run in 28 and if he was able to run in 28, I'm sure there's a handful who'd be like, yeah, I would trust him to run it for a little longer. Because he is getting old. Time will take him at some point. But if he's still competent, he still is still, good in the head, cracking jokes here and there, putting Biden's picture up as an auto pen and whatnot, it's like, yeah, obviously he'd still be fine to run the country. I mean, Biden wasn't fine, but they still let him.
Yep. So that was great. And I know that conservatives are probably still rolling their eyes at Bill, but oh, poor Bill Maher. He's a Republican now. Yeah, he may as well be a moderate Republican because
Bill is definitely still a Democrat, but he is not what the Democrat Party of today I would define a Democrat. He is what they used to be. He is a traditional Democrat, whereas today he would literally be an independent. It's like he's not on the right. He's not a conservative man in any way, form, anything like that. All his likings and everything that he stands for is against a lot of that. So I disagree with Tim here on that one. But when it comes to Bill, and like, you know, he's all for legal weed. He's all for letting you do what you want, you know, let you be who you want to be. He's like me, like, if you want to be trans, just stay out of the other, you know, gender sports. Be in the sport that coincides with your parts. Like, that's kind of, you know, what it boils down to. Use the bathroom that coincides with your parts. It's like, especially because kids sometimes, you know, public bathrooms especially, sometimes kids are in there, and if they accidentally see something, at least if they're in a bathroom where someone who's, you know, just older than them also has the same parts, at least it's okay and it's not going to freak them out. Because, you know, I imagine a little girl in the bathroom, and if a guy who's pretending to be a girl goes in there, or a trans guy's in the bathroom being that way, and all of a sudden, out of his pants flops a dick still. Uh-oh. This is, let's say, good little girl sees it, and she's like, I don't know what that is, I'm afraid. All of a sudden, points over at mom, if mom's standing by, and uh-oh, now that person's a pedophile going to jail. It's like, it's not just for the protection of the kids and everything, it's for your own too. We don't need you going to jail taking the spot if it's not true for what you did. That spot could be in there for someone who's about to be let out before he goes and murders someone after being arrested for 30 times.
Everything he just said is why so many people have left the left.
It's true. But the thing is, like, totally agreed. Like, the Democrats have to hold up their end of the bargain if we want to restore old America, so to speak. But the problem is, like, do we really trust Democrats to, like, moderate their own side? Like, they failed at this over and over again. It just results in more and more violence. So it's like, that's why the Trump admin has had to come in here and restore the conditions that would make it possible to return to old America. Because there's not really a partner for negotiation anymore. They keep shooting us.
The crazy thing to me is the normal political dichotomy for most of my younger life was you and me. I was left, you were right. We agreed on most things, and they had light arguments on, like, the limits of tax policy.
Marginal tax rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the same way I was when I was growing up. I was like, yeah, the left and the right, they have the majority of the same values. But, you know, there's a few specific policies and issues that it's like, this side is better with this side is better with that. But now it's like, here's your Democrats way over there, and it's like you're all over in the opposite directions of each other, and you're so far away from each other that it's like, what are we doing? And I keep muting my mic, but and mute and unmute it. So apologies if I accidentally do that again. Try not to shift myself around.
Are you kidding? We can't increase the tax by 0.5. I'm like, no, I think that now it's, okay, well, the tax thing aside, we'll figure that one out later. These people are trying to give children sex changes.
And tax wider neighborhoods more.
Yeah, exactly.
Open
the borders.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, just completely flood the borders with drugs and everything, and just, say that we need to be compassionate on 10 million people that we don't know.
This is what I often said was remarkable about AmFest, is that not only did you guys have me on stage, you got Luke, you have Ian, of all people.
I fought that one, but yeah.
I won.
Yeah. You should have seen the debates backstage. No.
But
we had Jank.
Exactly.
Yeah, we took some backlash for that, but it was,
you did the right thing.
Yeah, it was in the spirit of, like, hey, you've emerged as one of the saner voices. We totally disagree on how to fix things. We will not agree on that stuff. But listen, we agree to do it, to disagree agreeably.
Yeah, that was how politics always were, years and years and years. It was agree to disagree on certain things, but, we didn't win this time. Well, it changed slightly this way. Now it's like, we don't agree. You guys are Nazis. It's like, no, that's not at all how that works. We're not that. You can make a few comparisons where, a person standing in front of a stage also looks like a person standing on it, or a person standing in front of a crowd on a stage looks like a person standing in front of a crowd on a stage. You get both sides. It's like, okay, we got the same, they look the same, sure. What else is your similarities? Oh, that the crowd likes the guy? Cool. You just described every concert ever.
And I think it was the right thing to do. And this is how you create a culture where you say we are redefining. We are bringing it back to what the left and the right was supposed to be. Yeah. People who can plainly and easily say, "I'm sorry for your loss. I can't believe a psychopath would do such a thing," and not celebrate it. And when you have AmFest saying, "We will allow liberals to join us and have this debate," you're saying this is where life is happening. Yeah. You guys off in the fringes, we don't want to have anything to do with you. You're violent, you're dangerous, and create that opportunity. So I always say this. There's like a viral story right now with Emma Watson, from Harry Potter, saying she loves J.K. Rowling now. And J.K. Rowling came out and was like, "Oh wow, now you say it." After she was.
Yeah, Emma Watson's one of those I support the current thing group of people, where it went from Ukraine to Palestine to etc. It's like, come on, you're just shifting to be popular. Now shut up, keep your paycheck, you're rich, just be quiet, and everybody will like you.
Getting death threats, and she got kicked off of
what was this change? I haven't seen the story.
The only change that happened as to why Emma Watson now has no problem publicly saying she loves J.K. Rowling is that we are winning. The conversation around this trans ideology is getting pushback. Emma Watson is a fair weather activist. Now that it's unpopular to be in favor of giving children sex change, she's going, J.K. Rowling's so great, I love her. And J.K. Rowling's like, nah. You didn't.
I'm so happy J.K. Rowling has pushed back on this in every way. It is the best for the situation, for everything. And yeah, I'm very proud that I'm very happy that she's standing her ground, because she's one person I've looked at and I'm like, you fight for the actual rights of women, not the pro-abortion group. That group just wants to kill babies.
J.K. Rowling stood up for what she believed in and got hell for it. And these prominent personalities on the left will say whatever they're told to say by the murmuration of the cult. And my point in bringing this up, I say we have to give them, there needs to be a path to redemption, within limits, of course, for these liberals who said stupid and crazy things. If they want to come back into the fold, what I see with you guys and Jenk inviting him to come to AmFest was saying, if you are willing to admit your faults and do the right thing, forgiveness is always available, and you can have this conversation.
And by the way, if you create a scenario here, and listen, a lot of these people deserve their just desserts, right? They deserve some of the scorn that gets heaped on them. I will say though, but if you operate in good faith, this is kind of like a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but like Fetterman, he's saying things. He's not voting the way we want him to,
right?
But at least he's saying some things that sound halfway, reasonable. And I think that there has to be, he's doing.
Yeah, Fetterman is close enough to being a Republican that it's like, come on, dude. All you got to do is say it. You probably lose his power spot, but if it's one of those where it's like he's basically there. His personal beliefs and everything are there. There might be a couple little small differences, but he's there for the majority.
Doing that actually pretty bravely, I would say, because he's lost all of his staff. He's basically been completely outcast in the Senate, which is kind of against what most people do in the Senate. But you have to give an on-ramp to them to sort of be like, hey, we're not going to just make this so painful on you to say sane things.
Yeah.
Like it should require less and less courage to step out and say normal, sane things. And that can be a negative feedback loop that we do because it's fun to dunk on people.
Yeah.
And there's every rationalization and justification that they deserve it. But at some point, like, if we want this thing to get back together where people aren't getting murdered, like Charlie, for just engaging in debate, that we've got to find a way, and you've got to put some of this stuff to bed when they're willing to come back to a place of sanity.
Yeah, but it's like even if we are able to just ratchet the Democrat Party back to like the 1980s, we're still going to get the same result at some point down.
I don't think we can ratchet it back that far. I think they're too far gone. That the only course forward is the Democrat Party dissolves, becomes the far left party, where you could give them some new name, the Liberal Party maybe, and the rest of the Democrats, the more moderate ones, filter into the already existing libertarian, moderate, etc. parties in the middle, and or even join the Republican Party and become a little, feel like, you know, maybe they align a little more conservatively. But yeah, I don't think there's a path out for the Democrat Party unless they literally say, "Hey, we were just kidding. We're serious. We were absolutely joking this entire time. We didn't mean any of that shit. All that stuff that we said every year over year for the past like 10 years. Yeah, no, we didn't mean any of it. Actually, more like 20 years. Yeah, phew. Time's going by too quick.
Like we're just kind of kicking the can further down the road because a lot of the stuff is baked into the ideology of leftism.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need to like win politically so dramatically and for so long that they realize that they have to go back into the into the
back to the drawing board.
Yeah, no,
well, new ideology.
What I think will happen is younger people are looking for how to fit in and find.
Yeah, that's the other one. The younger group that are looking to fit in and everything that he's talking about. That's the violent part of the left, where if some of them are going to be too stubborn to leave, they'll go with that far left, that liberal party, and then it'll be that super far left and the conservatives on the right. And then you've, of course, always got your far right wingers like Nick Fuentes and his groupers, his groupies, excuse me, and all that. But you got the spectrum of everything.
Success. So, I've been thinking a lot about recently having a kid, what I want for my kid, and
congratulations, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I know that most parents already know this, but your view of the world changes quite a bit. I've traveled the world. I've gone on adventures. I've seen so much. I am not concerned with any of those things right now. I'm concerned with how can I give that to my child and children. Young people. I was thinking to myself.
They say when you have children, you're born a second time, because at that point, your priorities change when you are becoming a parent. And I am not, but I've seen enough. I have my brother who has become a dad. I've watched him over the past couple years, and watching my niece grow. I feel the residual uncle feelings of it, to where I'm like, I know one day if I have kids, I hope to, that I'll have that same born again feeling, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to one day have that.
Earlier, as I was driving around, like traveling, I'm almost 40. I used to love traveling. Now I much prefer to stay home with my family. And why is that? Why don't I feel, well, I care more about what my kid wants, but why did I want that when I was young? Young people are seeking to experience and absorb the world around them to survive, to grow, to develop. This is what humans do. Young people today, and I should say for the past 10 years, have been told by this liberal institutional apparatus, violent, vile, cult, it makes you famous. You go on TV and say whatever they tell you to say, you'll get 1 million followers. Be a nasty, angry leftist activist, put the black square, fit in, that's success. We have to redefine that. We have to say, no, actually, you do those things, we don't work with you. Your opportunity is limited. Don't marginalize yourself. That is not the future for you and this world. And what you'll see then is the young people who are growing up and absorbing the world will say, that's failure.
It's a dead end.
It's a dead end. Thanks for checking out this clip from...
Perfect. That is the end of this one here. That was a great video. Getting to hear Bill Maher there, where he's just about becoming he's getting closer to that, becoming conservative. I will say he will probably never hit that far. Let's both, you and I, give him a like for this video. You give a like on my video. And the next one we're going to react to, here's my little spoiler, is Steven Crowder, The Left is Violent, Changed My Mind. We're going to do the full hour and 26 minutes, 48 seconds of the clip, or of the video. So stay tuned for tomorrow morning when I release that one. It'll be a good one. But anyways, have a good night and goodbye.